And then I could just skip every other node. That gives me the 6th node. And then I skip every other node, 7 to 1, because there's only 7 nodes. And then I skip every other node, so 2 to 3. That means I know which nodes to hold down, specifically the Lydian, the Aeolian, the Ionian, the Phrygian. So, and that's movable. That's totally movable. So I know, so that tells me kind of where I am much more specifically than to say the notes on the guitar, which tells me specifically where I am, but it doesn't give you the context of the song. It doesn't tell you even if you're playing within the same diatonic key, which is useful. I mean, are we playing in the 7 notes, or did you do something wacky outside of the 7 notes? What if we had a 5-note chord? What would we normally call that? That would be an F major 9. Remember, there's only 7 scale degrees. They stopped at 7, they went up to 9. So now we have the 9 kind of like it's equivalent pitch-wise to the 2, which becomes kind of an issue. And once again, this is the same name for the major and the Lydian. Doesn't give us any context about the song that we're playing. It would be easier as you play the song to say, hey, look, no, this is the 4 chord. This is, you can even call it, you can replace this with a 4 if you wanted to. You can call it a 4F4. It's a 4 chord F4, right? Or, but I think the letter is better because it'll make it easier to extend this. So I would call it, Lydian F4, which would be a 5-note Lydian chord from the F, right? And if it was the center point, you can call it an Y, and I called it an E. That should be an F. I won't fix it right now. I should fix it, but I'm going to say that's an F. Maybe I should fix it. Okay, I'm going to leave it. I'm running long on time. Let's skip every other note. If I go back on over here and we are on the Lydian, we'd say this would be the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7, and then the 9. The 9 is equivalent to the 2, right? From a scale degree standpoint. Okay, so erase that. It'd be easier just to say that we're going to skip every other note though. So we're going to go back on over. So remember that should be an F. Okay, so what would be included? It would be the Lydian, and then we're just saying it's the 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Those are going to be the distances that we take every note from. The node we're on, plus 2 nodal half steps, plus another 2 nodal half steps, plus another 2 nodal half steps, plus another 2 nodal half steps. I don't have to worry about that being an 8 because I know that I can just count every other node as I go around the block. Once I get past the last node, I just go around the block. Whereas if it was a scale degree, I'd have to make this node the 1. I don't want to. It's the 4. It's the 4 node. But if I made it the 1, it would be the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. The 9 is equivalent to the 2 because there is no 9 from a scale degree standpoint. So you got to know that that's kind of like the 2. But I'd rather keep this not as the 1, but as 0 or the node that we are on that we're measuring from because it's actually number 4. Absolute number 4, Nashville number system number 4. It's the Lydian node. And then if I go up 2, it would give me the Aeolian. If I go up another 2, I know that it goes around the horn. I don't have to worry about the 9 is equivalent to the 2. I'm just going to say, well, I go past 7. That brings me back to 1, the Ionian. And then 1 plus 2 gets me to the Phrygian, and plus 2 gets me to the Mixolydian. So this lists out the formula for the chord no matter what key we're in. So what if we added a 6-note chord? What would be the name? It would be an F major sharp 11. Now, why would that be? Well, this is where the Mixolydian is funny. We'll get to scale degrees later. I just want to note for now that this is not something that we should have to do if we're talking about something that is in the same diatonic key. This is one of the things. It's like, wait, and that you had to do that in order to make it work? And we're using the same 7 notes, you should only have to do something like that if you're going outside, if you're going in the ocean, you're pulling one of the notes from the ocean, that's when it should look funny. We shouldn't have to make it look funny if you're in the same diatonic key. But why does this happen? Because compared to the intervals up here, the 4 has a different distance. So we have to have an augmented or sharp 4. So we'll talk more about that later. Right now, I just want to note that looks funny. And when it looks funny, you're going to say maybe it's not in the same diatonic key, but it is, right? But it'd be easier to say, look, if I just call it a YF5, which would be a 5-note F chord Lydian, then, it would be a 6-note chord on the F plus 5 modal whole steps, that tells you, look, this is still in the same diatonic key, because I know, if I know this is the key that we're in, or that we have a Lydian in it, then this will give you an indication that no, this isn't something that's in the ocean. This isn't something that's pulling something in the ocean. It's in the 7 continents. It's still in the key. It gives us the context. And if it was the tonal center, I made it a P again. I need to fix that. I make that a Y. All right, I'm going to fix it this time. So now we have a Y F5. So that gives us the tonal center. So then what would that be? It would be a distance of the node we're on, which would be 4. And then it goes up by another 2, 2, 6, 8, and then 10 from a distance standpoint. What about a scale degree standpoint? It would go from the 1, the 3. If I made the 4 node the 1 and count from it, starting at that point, which is not what you should do from just a normal engineering standpoint. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. The 7, 9, and 11 are equivalent. I'm sorry, the 9 and the 11 are equivalent to the 2 and the 4. Let's keep on going because we're running long on time here. What I'd like to say is, from a mode standpoint, this shouldn't be the 1, it should be the 4. So we just skip every other node. 4 to 6, 6 to 7, and then around the horn to 1, and then 1 to 3, and then 3 to 5, and then 5 to 7, meaning this chord we would hold down a 4, 6, 1, 3, 5, 7, or Lydian, Aeolian, Ionian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, Locrian. Now you can't actually do that, but that's kind of what we assume. We would drop some of those. On a piano, you can kind of do that. That would be cool. But you can't really do that so much on a guitar, so you'd have to drop some of them, and we'll talk about how you can jot that down later. But for now, let's say we go up another one for a whole 7-note chord. So now we've got an F major 13. Now, why is it a 13? Because we went up to 7 scale degrees, plus instead of going around to 2, we went to the 9, 11, and now the 13. But then we have to say that the 11 would have been included, because we assume it's included, but because it's a major 7, then we would think it has a major interval, but it doesn't, because it's different from the major, and compared to the major, it has a sharp 7. Now, that's not too messy. It's still kind of messy, though. And again, it kind of indicates, like with this, the fact that you have to do something funny feels like it's not in the same diatonic key. But it is in the same diatonic key, right? So it would be better, it would be nice to just use something clean to name it by mode. And that way, I know if there's something in the ocean, something that's outside the diatonic key, I'll be able to see it, because it'll be over here and say, hey, look, we're doing something funny, something outside the diatonic key, typically, right? So I would rather call it, it's a Lydian F6, meaning it's a 7-note Lydian F chord. It's the F plus 6 modal whole steps. And if it was the tonal center, we can call it this. I won't go back. Well, let me go back on over here one time.